Hey everyone, welcome to Average Joe Preparedness. My name's Rick, and I'm an average Joe. Before we get started, yes, I can see myself in the. I look terrible, man. I'm working my butt off, so I hope you guys understand why I look like this because I'm just taking a break. It's like in the afternoon, and to shoot this video, yes, and hopefully, I hope, and I mean this truthfully. I hope there's a lot of you that look just like this. That you're out there, you're doing stuff, whatever it is, your life to make your life happy. I hope you're out there, you're doing it, no matter what the weather is, and you're going and doing all kinds of stuff. I really do. And again, I'm going to make this statement. I have no idea how content creators put out all this stuff and they look really good and they got this nice stuff. I'm busting my backside and I ended up looking like this. Seriously. Anyways, don't hold it against me. I hope you don't. So, yeah, today's video. Oh, my minute's up. We'll get to it in a sec. Okay, today I'm repacking the lovely lady in my life's get home bag, the bag she keeps in her vehicle, because I don't think I mentioned it. She's changed jobs, and it used to be set up for, and we've done videos. I don't know if I do a little thing. We've done videos on it before, a bunch of them, I think, uh, of hers. But it was set up for. It was like 8 miles. It was less than 10. So it was less than 10 miles for her. I mean, worst case scenario, terrible thing that she had to get home. Because getting home, to me, getting home is key, guys. If you can, that's where you need to be. That's your base of operations, blah, blah, blah. People have different ideas. People have different concepts. I get it. It's not an argument. It's just an opinion. And you probably have one too, whether that's what you want to do if like the worst case happens. So ours is getting home. I'm going to get home. She's going to get home. My mother-in-law, she's going to get home. Everybody get home. And then we'll make up our minds from there. Yes? Yes. Okay, well, her bag used to be for less than 10 miles, and she worked like 5 days a week. Well, now she does that whole away from work thing, remote, but she still has to go into work a minimum of once a week. Don't look at me, guys. It's not my job, it's hers. And she actually has to go dun 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 into the city. So there's a fairly large city. It's about 40 miles away from us, give or take. So she actually has to go into the city to work. So now her get home bag is got to be redesigned for her to walk, if that's the worst case scenario, for her to get, worst case scenario is walking. I'll do other things if things look like they're getting bad. But worst case scenario is she has to walk 40 miles. Yes? And it's summertime. Remember I said it went from like winter and then it was like one day of spring and now it's summer. So again, it needs to be changed and we need to look through it and see if anything needed to be taken out or put back in. Yay. So changes in jobs, changes in weather, seasons, whatever. These are great opportunities for you to go through your stuff. I think if nothing else, you're going to go through it anyways. So yeah, might as well go through and if you don't need this and re-examine this and yeah. So and before we even get started, case in point, I don't know if I mentioned it, the lovely lady in my life, she's like first aid qualified, and I think she has a higher first aid level than I do, and the stop bleeding and CPR and all kinds of stuff because of her last job. So we were going through her stuff, and we're going to go through like this little bitty first aid kit because it's like a boo-boo kit, you know. All you're doing is walking 40 miles. So I'll show you a couple things. And she's like, but what she wanted added to it is a large triangle bandage. Or it's not a bandage, it's a little triangle thing for like doing the arm, but you can do other things with it too. I still think they call it a triangle bandage. I got to Google it today and put it on order for her. Yes? Yes. And the reason she wants it is because I think it's a wonderful thing, is it can be used for multiple things, just like a lot of these items in their bags that we were going over. And she understands that. She doesn't like to, think about doom and gloom and all this, but she's been in situations. I've been in with her. She's been in them on her own. And she understands how things happen, how things need to be used, and how things can have multiple purposes. Yes? And it's her bag. So we went through it and I was like, do you want this? Do you want this? Because we had talked about it before I'd made the bag for her, what she wanted in it. And she's like, I want a triangle bandage, one of those large triangle bandages. I said, pretty lady, you got it. I mean, not yet. I got to order it. And I said, do you want me to add it to the other bags, like the bags that are in your car? And she's like, yeah. So I'm going to order like 6, I think, because that's how many bags there is between the 3 cars and the 3 people. And Yes, oh, I'm rambling, I guess. But anyways, hopefully you guys understand the point, because there's little things that I'm pointing out that I hope you guys are getting. Okay, so I have a really big mess. Can you guys see? I'm gonna step off. Whoa, do you see this really big mess behind me? That's everything that was in her bag. And once again, we've done it before. Not gonna put it up there. But we're gonna go ahead and go through them again as a good reminder. And I'm gonna talk about maybe multiple purposes of some of the things, and some things that have, a couple minor little things that have been changed out. Again, because of weather and because of distance. Yes? Yes. But before we get started, hold on a second. This is humor. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second. I want to move something. You see it? Just because. And for the person who gets the joke, yeah, I did that just for you. Yay. Because you know what? Life, guys, it doesn't matter if you're sitting here for basic emergency preparedness or practical preparedness, or even if it's up there. You got to enjoy life. Yes? Yes. Okay, I can feel kind of bad because as I go through this, I'm going to keep looking away from the camera. And I don't think you're supposed to, but this is the way. And then I'm going to be setting the stuff back down once I go over. So I'm going to be looking away. Do. So I don't know if you guys are going to get tired of that, but this is the way it is. So let's get started. So first thing is lighting. I have two forms of lighting for her. The flashlights, which you guys have been around, you've seen these before, and a headlamp. And we've talked about it before. If I was to click these, thank God, it doesn't work. And neither will this one. The reason being is because the batteries, I turn at least one of the batteries around. And so that way, if they get activated inside her bag, the batteries don't go dead. Does that make sense? And she's aware. I've done it to all my bags, that one battery at least is turned around. And supposedly it keeps them from getting corroded. I don't know about the science of that. But what I do know is you don't end up with it being clicked and the battery dying. Yes? Yes. Now I'd like to remind you, headlamp. So these are like a big deal if you've ever had to use your hands for free, or if you're walking, which is her predominant thing. Again, you can keep a hand free. You can use this flashlight like this, but it's kind of nice to have a headlamp. Next to that, which is really important, I think, and they have tape on them, is you'll notice these are batteries and these are batteries. These are battery replacements for any lighting you have. If you can, you should try to have batteries, replacement batteries also. Remember, we're doing something for 40 miles. Yes? The average person walks, I think it's like, I mean, nice and easy. It's like 2 or 3 maybe miles an hour. So we're looking at, this is all day. And if something happens late, we're looking into the night, or if you just keep walking. You with me? So yeah, extra batteries. So next thing is, if you guys notice how large this is one of those emergency blankets, but you see, this is one of the big boys. Yes? Yes. Now, somebody might say, Rick, this is for summer. Why does she need a warm, keep you warm emergency blanket? Well, it's multiple use. And even though it's summertime, you don't actually know what the temperature is going to be. Things happen. And once again, it's 40 miles. So we're looking at least 12 hours, design this for at least 12 hours, which means it could be during the nighttime. And again, you don't know what the weather's like. It could rain, summer rain. It could get cold with the wind. So, and again, this has multiple purposes, and her and me have talked about it. Yes? Yes. All right, the boo-boo kit. That's right. I don't know if you guys seen ones like this. I got ones that are different colors, but they've been evolving over the years. New people are like, I've never seen that thing before, but if you've been around for a while, you've probably seen a kit like this, or like it, but with different colors. This one has it. It doesn't matter. But for those of you who've been around, and for those of you who are new, I guess I could bust into it, but I'm not going to, is this has been changed. Okay, this was purchased. It was inexpensive. And what it has in it now is not what has in it when it came. Yes? Yes. And again, this is one of those life lessons. You need to adapt your stuff to you through your life experience. One big thing that's in here is moleskin. That's right. If you've never hiked for any long distances, periods of time or long distances, moleskin is your friend. You start to get those. Is this making a lot of noise? You start to get blisters on your feet. It's just a terrible thing. You guys with me? And it'll cut you short. So there's a big old thing of moleskin in here. There's larger bandages that can cover up blisters. Also, there's a bigger thing of medical tape. And it's a boo-boo kit, though. There's like Band-Aids in here. And there's like some aspirin, or probably a non-aspirin painkiller. And there's some like hay fever or allergy medicine, generic stuff. And we had talked about that. And something to bring up is she takes daily medications, like a lot of people, minor things that are not life-threatening. And none of them are in here because, once again, she would have taken them before she left, and hopefully she'll get home in 24 hours. But even if not, it's not life-threatening. So if you're someone who has to take medications and it can have a detrimental effect on your health if you don't have it for just like 1 day or less, then you probably want to see about getting them and adding them to your kit, which you're going to have to check your kit more often because you can't have the medications go bad, blah, blah, blah. Yes? Yes. And again, the point of modifying this to your experience and to what you know is something I want to tap on. I call it tapping the foot, where you go like this to remind people. Used to do it in my old job, doesn't matter. And the fact that it has multiple purposes, and that's another thing. It's like a foot stomper, where it's like it has multiple purposes. These are lessons to be learned, yes? And lessons are good. What is it? I'm going to say it again. I've said it before. That is a smart man learns from his lessons, and a wise person learns from lessons of others. Yes, but always learn your lessons. Yay. Okay, let's keep going. So, bug repellent. This is light. It's small. I think this had DEET in it. I think I got like the best kind you could get in the smallest container. At the time, I ordered this a while ago. And because, let me tell you what, walking in the summer and being bitten is not fun, if you guys know what I mean, especially early in the morning and in the evenings. It is terrible where we are. I don't know how bad it is where you are. Sunscreen, because during the day, during the summer, and it's not the highest, but it's a decent SPF, you know what I'm saying? To keep yourself from getting burnt, because although the world might be ending, who knows? You don't need to make it worse, guys. Like a couple seconds of putting this on, that's going to save you hours and hours, if not days, later on down the road. I don't mean to make light of the end of the world, because that's not necessarily what we're talking about here, but you get what I'm saying. It's still nice to have stuff that keeps you from suffering. Yes? Yes. Okay, one little glow stick. See this little teeny thing? This is just like a backup to a backup in case of emergencies. A bag that's got M95 and some medical gloves. I think it's like 1 or 2 sets of medical gloves. I don't know what these things are called, darn it. It's a tube. That's what it is. It's a cloth tube. You can put it around your neck. We've talked about this before. This is a summer weight one. This one's light. I have winter weight ones also. But you put it around your neck so that way your neck don't get sunburned. Or you can bring it up over your face like this if need be for smoke or dust or breathe. Or you can put it up here if you want to hold your hair back and collect your sweat, or multitask. Multipass. No, it's multitask. So you guys picking up what I'm laying down? Now, okay, we'll go over this one first. Pepper spray. I've always told you that when we do hiking and biking, pepper spray is for feral dogs. Yes, because I don't know if you've ever been hiking or biking and had a loose dog come at you, but it ain't fun. However, that being said, just like a lot of things, like this, that has multi-purpose. You can go like this. This has multi-purpose. Yes, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I can't help you. And depending, again, on the emergency, it's an emergency whistle. And this is an actual emergency whistle. I don't want to blow this because it's really loud. If she's going to be... Now, I asked her what kind of substance she wanted in this bag. And she was like, yeah, she's cool with this. If you guys will see this, it's hard as a rock. You can get these at Walmart. I actually taste tested, I think, one of these for you guys. And I ate it. And if you look, it has 2,400 calories. Yes, and if I'm not mistaken, this one tastes like apple. Ooh, apple cinnamon. That's right. So if you guys want me to taste test this again, it'll probably be when this one expires, because they're about 5 years. And this thing is solid. And this is all the calories she needs for about 1 day. Yes, even walking. Yay. Now, again, this was her choice. And you can see it doesn't need, I mean, you probably want to drink water, but we'll get into that in a little bit, but it doesn't need to be heated up. You open this up, you take, it's little bar things, and you just eat them. You with me? Which you can do while you're walking, on the go. Yes? What are we going to go over next? Okay, now this might be odd for it being summertime, but these are little hand warmers. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Man, I think everything we have has got hand warmers in it, because we've learned from our lessons. Because it doesn't matter if it's summertime, you never can tell. You guys ready for a story? Oh, anyways, and these are light, and they don't really weigh anything. Yes, it's better to have than to not have. Okay, but now, I'll tell you what, I'm going to cut my minute. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you ain't been around for a while. Everything's done in minute snips. I'm going to cut my minute a little short, and I'm going to tell you a story real fast. Yes? Yes. So, summertime, and we went up. It was up in the mountains, don't get me wrong. And we were up there with a group of youths. And I always take everything because of my military background. Yes. So even if it's summertime, I take winter stuff. And the lovely lady in my life, through her life experience, has done the same thing. So it's not a lot. It's a little bit kicked off to the side. It's usually got dust on it and stuff, but it's still there. So anyways, so a weather front came in, and understand it is summertime. We are camping. We're in tents and stuff like that. And we got up in the morning and there was 3 inches of snow, and it was June. Yes. Yes, and there was a lot. There was like 30 something people, and there was a lot of miserable people, except for two. Can you guys guess who that is or who that was? That's right, because we had hand warmers and wool stuff, and yeah, 3 inches of snow. It was funny. The point, and it was actual real life, the point is learn from your life. I used to tell my sons and my troops, the people that said, look, when life tries to teach you a lesson, you know, a lot of times you get lucky. If you don't listen, the universe is like, okay, you weren't listening. Maybe I wasn't speaking loud enough. And the next lesson is usually worse to get the point across to you. So whatever your life lessons are, learn them. You see what I'm saying? It's just advice. I don't tell anybody what to do anymore. Not my job. Okay, real quick. Next one is a small little, no big deal. It's a little pocket knife. Yes? Multiple purposes. So, okay, you guys know what this is. Come on, if you've been around for a while, it is the envelope. The envelope. And inside is what? That's right, wait. If you're old enough to get the joke. Okay, it's $20 in small bills and a prepaid Visa card for $20 also. Yes? Yes. All right, now what her bag had before was one of these bottles of water. Now, have we talked about these bottles before? That's right, there's a few brands out there that have thick bottles, not those thin, crimply ones. And these have actually gotten thinner. I think, oh, here it is right here. This is the latest one. Look at that. You see me punching it in? This one, not so much. They're actually thinning their bottles up, which makes me unhappy. But such is the way, shrinkflation or thinflation in this case. And I'm not saying these guys are great or this water's fantastic. I don't advertise for them. But InfoU, there's like 2 or 3 brands, and the bottles were a lot thicker than others. And if you're carrying them around in a backpack, it's probably a good idea. If you've never punctured one of these or had one of these poke a hole in it, then you haven't learned that life lesson, and you should learn it from me. So get ones that are a little thicker. The point being is this bag had 1 bottle of water in it before. Yes, because it was 10 miles. Now it's 40 miles, and we've modified the water stuff. So let's go over that now. Yes? Yay. Okay, so the first one is instead of 1 bottle of water, she has 2. Yes? And if this is happening while she's at work, she has the availability of what's in her office building, and what's in her car. And you guys should know that she also has a car bag, emergency car bag, and if I'm not mistaken, there's a bottle of water in there also. Yes, among other things. But, okay, now she did have this. Okay, you guys, come on. If you've been around, you know, single wall steel bottle. Anyone? Anyone? Yes, it's for purifying water, but we're not going to get into that too much. But watch this. It can also be used for storage. So what do we have here? Oh, we have those little, I think they're aqua tabs. Is that what they're called? Yes, aqua tabs for purifying water. One of these little pills will purify this. You with me? And there's like 2, 4, 6. So she's got that water. She can fill this up before, I'm going to set this down real quick. She can fill this up before she leaves her work center. You guys with me? But wait, minute's up. There's more. If she can get water on the way home, if she needs to, and she doesn't know how clean it is, she's got those tabs. But it's also used for storage. Whoops, did you guys see that? I pulled this out of there. You'll see what that's for in a second. And you guys know what that is? Well, it's cheating. It says it right there. It's a life straw. And I've actually tested this. And I told you guys I had these in all my bags. And I wasn't kidding. Oh, yeah, wait. Let me do an advertisement. I did a test on one of these. I'll put that video. So, and it stores in this. Isn't that cool? So this can be used for water, and we're going to use it for storage. That goes to, oh, did I show you guys how it works? It goes down the side there. When she takes it out, this little thing clips on it, and it goes so you can carry it around your neck. Yes? If she doesn't want to use those terrible tabs for water, or if she can sit in one place for a couple minutes and actually drink water. And if not, she can just grab the water, put a single tab in there. Get in there like you're supposed to. Live TV. Edit your videos, Rick. No, not going to. She can put the little tab in there, and then basically she can get back on the road and wait 30 minutes for it to clarify the water. Oop, minute's up. Yes? Okay, you guys know what this is? I hope so. I've shown it before, but I'm not opening it up. What's inside here is one of those hand cranked, solar powered emergency radios. It gets AM, it gets FM, it gets NOAA, blah, blah, blah. It's got a solar power thing on it that you can hold it. She can clip it to her backpack and walk, and or you can sit there and crank it. It also has a little thing on it so it can charge a cell phone or blah, blah, blah. You guys, and it's got a flashlight on it too. You guys with me? Well, why aren't you taking it out of the bag, Rick? I am glad you asked. It's actually inside 2 bags. One of them is an ESD bag, anybody who works with electronics, because you build up static electricity. And the other one is an EMP bag. I think I've gone over this before. So it's inside 2 bags, an EMP bag and an ESD bag. Not sure if these things would actually work in a worst case scenario. Ooh, worst case scenario. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Yes? Yes. Okay, one more thing, and again, multi-purpose, because I asked her if she still wanted this, because I put these in the bag. You guys see this? These are those really big, huge, large, thick contractor bags. This thing's big. It's like it's this tall, but you guys can't see what I'm saying. And I was like, do you still need this? And she was like, yes, because she understood, and she went into how this could have multiple purposes. If you split it off to the side, it turns really wide. It can be a tarp for over the top of you. You can lay it on the ground. If you want, you poke a hole in it and you put it over yourself, and it's a rain thing. Now remember, if she has access to her car, we have other stuff inside her car. But multi-purpose. Multi-purpose. Yes, yes. And I love the fact that she sees that. Okay, now some of the stuff we get into, again, because it's winter, I'll point it out to you and then I'll explain it because I have it in something else. Old school, Altoids can. Yes, if you're new and you don't get it, old people, you get it. Now, this is not what you think it is. It doesn't have like 27 little things in there. And I pointed out in another one of my bags that from my car that I had put this in there, but I had taped it closed already. This one I haven't taped closed just for you guys, just so I could show you what's in it. Are you guys ready? It's not that interesting. Don't get too excited. Boop. That's right. It is a lighter, and it has those 2 little tea candles. And I'll be taping this shut so it's waterproof. And you're like, well, it's for summertime. What? Well, you just never can tell, yes? It doesn't weigh that much. It doesn't take up that much room. And it can stay in the bag from summer, winter. The stuff like the hand warmers, they don't come out. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't be changed out. And again, we're looking at least 12 hours. So you set it up, maybe you need to sleep or what. 24-hour bag, if we're going to call it that. It's like a 24-hour bag. So the ability to have light and or produce heat, whether it's summertime or whether it's wintertime, you guys with me? Besides, you can heat up water and stuff. Yes? Yes. And if nothing else, and I mean, everybody can disagree, it's just, it comes from us being like cavemen or women. I'm not trying to be sexist, but fire in a bad situation, although it's dangerous, people are like, they can see it. It depends on the situation. Sometimes fire can make you feel better. Yes? Yes. All right. And to finish it off, you guys don't need to really get into this. But it's a nice pair of broken in walking shoes. And then I stuff stuff inside, like socks, different kinds. And I think there's some shorts in here, depending on the weather and depending on what the circumstances are, whether she wants to wear those while she's walking. She has the opportunity. She has the option. Oh my God, I'm breaking everything. Yes, edit your videos better, Rick. No, I'm not going to. A hat for sun protection. Yes, besides the thing that goes around the neck, besides sunscreen. And left in, because again, you never can tell, and we've learned our lesson, some of the winter stuff that doesn't take up room and doesn't weigh that much. What we've got in here is a wool beanie. Wool, these are 100% wool. Wool gloves, and just in case, you guys seen these? They're just like work gloves. Like work gloves, but work gloves nonetheless, just in case. Yes? But Rick, it's summertime. Why the winter stuff? It doesn't take up that much room. It doesn't weigh that much. We've learned our life lessons. And here's the other thing. It's not mandatory. If something was to happen, she doesn't have to pick up this bag and go, oh my God, it's required. I have to take everything in the bag. And that's for you too, guys. If you don't want to carry this stuff, if you're like, yeah, this isn't what I'm going to need. If something happens and she's on her way home and she's not 40 miles, if she just leaves it in the car or she leaves it there or just throws it on the side of the road. You with me? It's not mandatory, but if you don't have it, you don't have the choice. Does that make sense? Yay. And then I put it in a Ziploc bag to help, just in case for weather, but it's different types of clothing. Yes? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Yay. Okay, so I haven't put it away yet, but that's everything for right now. Now remember, I'm going to order that large triangle bandage. I didn't call it a bandage, but it doesn't matter. That she still wants to put in here. But basically, that's it. And this is, again, if you're new here, if you've been here for a while, you understand it. These are not rules. This is not what you're required to have in a get-home bag. You're not even required to have a get-home bag, guys. You know what I'm saying? Basic emergency preparedness doesn't call for one of these. Practical preparedness, depending on where you are and what you see, may call for one of these. And then again, there's no rules. It's based up to the individual. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you live. I don't know how far it is for you to get home. I don't know how far away you are on average from your home. I don't even know if you want to get home. You might want to go somewhere else. Yes, this is for each person. It's allegorical. This is for each person to decide for themselves. Yes, but hopefully it's giving you some ideas. Now, I was going to go over a bunch of other stuff, but you know what? This video is getting too long, and I got stuff to do. And you know how long it takes me to edit and upload these videos. It's terrible. So yeah, not going to do it. But I'm going to give you a hint on something. You ready? I'm reaching off screen for a prop. Do you guys know what this is? You can buy these in the store. I think I got this at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? But this is actually going to go like this. So this is terracotta pots. And this year I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to set this down right here. Now, understand, I'm going to seal off the bottom here in just a few in the next hour or so. So you seal off the bottom, and you dig this down into a flower bed or a garden bed is where it's going. To right about here, you fill this up with water. You put the lid on. I'm going to set a rock on top to hold that in place. Yes, and this sits right there below the soil line. And supposedly through osmosis, the water moisture slowly goes out below ground into your garden bed. Yes? So I'm experimenting this year. I'm going to put it next to, I have like, what do I got? I got tomato plants, my larger plants. I have a tomato plant, pepper plant, basil. If you guys don't know why, I'll explain in a second. Pepper plant, tomato plant. And I have two things that are just like that exact same pattern. Different tomatoes and different peppers. But basil, the reason why the basil's in the middle is because apparently there's certain bugs like aphids or whatever, and they don't like basil. I mean, I could always use it to spice into my food or whatever, flavor up your food. But the reason I'm growing it is to keep the bugs off my peppers and most especially my tomato plants, because they're susceptible to certain insects. And apparently they don't like the smell of basil. Yes? That's what I heard. So we're going to find out. So I'm going to have one of these. I have another thing I do. We'll go into another time. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it between the tomato plant and the pepper plant. I'm going to dig it out, set it down in there, and I'm going to see how it works this year. Supposedly the roots are supposed to go and collect around it like warm, not cold, warm, cool, I like you, and you have water. Yes? Yes. But let me be perfectly clear, I'm not selling this. I mean the idea, because I've never done it before. So I'm going to try it out this year, and we're going to see how it goes. What I did use last year, and I'm going to use it again this year, is I have 2-liter bottles, and I fill them up with water, and I drilled a very small, I think it's 1/16 drill bit is what I use. I experimented with different size holes, and then basically I turn it upside down and I stick it in the ground. And at first, it should be solid walls, which they're not, so it kind of collapses a little bit, but then once it zeroes out, then the water slowly seeps into the ground as the moisture in the ground goes away. And it keeps your beds moist below the top. Like the surface can look dry, but if you stick your finger down just a little bit, it's like, oh, it's all moist and wet down there where the roots are. The top of your plants can still get all crinkly and stuff like that, but it keeps them alive, and it keeps them when you don't have an opportunity to water or when there's drought and all that. And I'm trying all the different experiments I can now while I can, when I don't actually have to depend on my food to live. Yes? And I know I said I was going to make this video end it, but you know what? This just takes us into another lesson. So I'm going to do a little bit more, and then we're going to, and that is do things now. I grow stuff, and I'm going to probably do a video and show you guys stuff, and you'll be like, man, that's not a lot of food, Rick. How are you going to live off that? I'm not. I don't have to. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to live off this stuff. What I'm doing is I'm enjoying myself. I get out in the sun. I get fresh air. I'm being a hippie. I'm growing food that's like my own food. It's organic, non-GMO. I don't use pesticides. I try using natural fertilizers. I experiment with that. Natural ways of repelling bugs, like using basil. There's yellow tape you can use that attracts gnats, or things that go on cups and stuff. There's all these different things. I am trying my composting, different ways of doing it. I'm trying all these things. A liquid, by the way, I got a liquid do-it-yourself fertilizer that's made with household items. My minute's up, dang it. So this fertilizer, I'm using it this year. I'm not going to sell it or whatever, but if it works, then I'll explain what I used in the ingredients and how the ingredients work and this, that, and the other thing. So everything to me is practice. I'm practicing, but at the same time, I mean, we eat the lettuce and the corn, and you guys know I've gotten potatoes. I'm going to try those buckets again this year, and the corn stalks we use as decoration. But practice, get used to doing stuff now, because let me tell you what, let's say somebody switched the lights off. Again, this is not about worst case scenario, this channel, but it's practical preparedness. But let's say for a second we go with worst case scenario and somebody flicks the switch. You with me? That's not the time to learn how to do anything. That's not the time to learn life lessons. That's not the time to learn how to plant. That's not the time to learn that you need both hot and cold clothing and stuff, depending on, you don't know what the weather's going to be. That's not the time to try to learn how to feed yourself. You guys with me? Not sound like a, bummer, but yeah, not the time. So that being said, anything I find, if it works for me, and it doesn't mean it's going to work for you, I'll point it out to you guys. I'll be like, yeah, hey, like this terracotta thing. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos on it. Supposedly it works. The science is sound, to me, it sounds like it. But I don't know. I've never done it. I can't say, well, the science says it'll work, so it'll work. That's not the way I work. I've known a lot of science that suddenly just flipped on its head when you actually tried to apply it. Yes? Yes. Okay. So we're going to bring this one to a close. I still have a few other things I was going to talk about. We'll save them for the next video. I don't know when it's going to happen, guys, because look at me. I look terrible. I'm busting my butt out here, dang it. But yeah, and again, in a positive way, I hope you guys are too. I hope you guys are living life. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you guys are smiling while you can. Yes? Yes. Okay, let's bring this to a close. I hope this finds you well. I hope you are happy. I hope you are doing everything you can to stay positive. And I hope for whatever it is that happens or what you project is going to happen in your life, you are being prepared.